In 2007, the Washington Post ran a social experiment in a metro station during rush hour. A young man took a violin out of a case and turned it outward for spare change. He played for 43 minutes as over 1,000 passers-by walked around him. He played 6 classical songs by some of the greatest composers that have ever lived. 7 people stopped to listen, the majority not knowing that just 3 nights before, this young man, Joshua Bell, sold out a symphony hall where tickets went for $100, and that the violin he played, a Stradivarius, was 300 years old and worth millions. What did this experiment teach us? Context is everything. The metro station was not just a location, it was a system. And if context can shape how we hear beauty, what does context do in shaping a person? In the 1970s, Albert Bandura was trying to explain systems of development within what later became known as relational developmental systems, or RDS. Those before him, like Freud, Piaget, and Skinner, each emphasized only one piece of development. Bandura expanded the conversation. He recognized that environment, behavior, and personal factors all interrelate and interact to form a person. He called this the triadic reciprocal model. Bandura designed an experiment in which children observed adults modeling aggressive behavior toward a Bobo doll. After this exposure, he discovered that children reproduced the modeled behavior and actually went further, identifying learning without reinforcement. He later applied these principles to patients with phobias such as snakes, showing that through guided mastery in specific environments, fear could be reduced. Belief shapes what we do. If we believe we can grow and put in the effort, what Bandura calls self-efficacy, we can. But modeling can only show what is placed before a student. The question then becomes, what or who are we modeling and why? Bandura gave us the triangle within relational developmental systems, or RDS. In 2015, Mark Bornstein zoomed into one side of that triangle and emphasized the environmental and relational dimensions of development. Through his specificity principle, he says development outcomes depend on specific configurations of people, settings, timings, and relationships. He adds precision to Bandura's framework and highlights how deeply embedded individuals are within relational systems. But if development is shaped by reciprocal systems, and those systems are specific and relational, where do those environments and relationships come from? Both models explain interaction, but neither speaks to ultimate meaning. Bandura centers human agency, but his system is closed. Bornstein emphasizes context and timing. Without a transcendent lens, though, identity risks become confined to circumstance. When viewed through a faith lens, the systems are not self-originating, they are orchestrated. These patterns are not accidental. There is no denial of agency or environment, but as a reframing of them within something larger. If development unfolds within systems, and systems are relational and specific, then perhaps what we are describing is not just a structure, but a symphony. Going back to our music metaphor, yes, Joshua played solo in the metro, but he did not learn those pieces in isolation. He learned them within a larger context shaped by teachers, rehearsal, and tradition. And even when an instrument plays alone, it was written to sit within something larger. Music does not come from just one instrument. It comes from the symphony, from the clash of the cymbals next to the gentleness of the flute. These dissonant instruments, while separate and beautiful on their own, mean so much more when brought together under the guidance of a conductor. There's a saying often attributed to a famous composer, Claude Debussy. The music is not in the notes, but in the silence between them. The pause, the comma, the breath between the notes, or as the Psalms calls it, Selah, gives shape and meaning. Perhaps faith is that pause, the lens that changes what we attend to, what we give our allegiance to, how we understand agency, and how we define flourishing. The Bell experiment showed us context. Bandura explains the notes within RDS. Bornstein highlights the arrangement through the specificity principle. Faith invites us to consider that there is a divine conductor. And perhaps development in a certain time and space is not random or accidental, but part of a larger symphony still becoming.